Greetings from Mugawa's again session low and welcome to the demonstration of a smart file API. The space our API covers is wireless communication between devices. It provides a low-cost solution to file collection, sharing, and distribution. Our API is mainly targeted to work at schools with limited internet access. Moving on to the implementation. For implementation, we made use of a Wi-Fi module to send files wirelessly over a mobile device and the Pi. We use the USB as a database. A Raspberry Pi Zero is a microcontroller that implements the functionality of our API. A USB splitter was used for interfacing between the Pi and the USB. We chose to use a USB over the storage devices such as external hard drives because the external hard drives would need to be powered. We also made use of a USB splitter because it would allow multiple USBs to be connected to the Pi, and we're also prioritizing affordability. The overview of the API. Our API is more for hardware-based API as opposed to a web API, as the user just has to get our code and implement it on his hardware, rather than to connect to a server and make API calls to use the API. It was mostly built on Python and it runs on an index server. For the API, the API was for the demonstrator. The demonstrator was demonstrated using a Python script that was run on a Linux terminal on Raspberry Pi. A Raspberry Pi hotspot was used as a beacon for devices to connect and download files. Moving on to the demonstrator that uses now moving on to the demonstrator. So our demonstrator, as I said, is a Python script and it's called driver.py. So I'm just going to say Python 3 driver.py and I'm going to drag it. It's gonna load. Welcome to our demonstrator. It's a Python script. Once it's loading, it's gonna ask the person to sign in or sign up. So just to demonstrate the sign up, I'm gonna press 2. It's gonna ask me to enter my username and I'll just say Max. My password, I'll just use the same name X. Then it's gonna ask me to sign up with my new current details. I'm gonna say sign in. Just say Max, then Max. Once I've entered, it takes me to another page, which is the downloading, searching, motivating, or transferring files. First, I'm gonna check the transfer file option, and it's gonna tell me to connect to a server in order to transfer files. To do that, I need the server IP address. So I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna go to Windows. Under Windows, if I go to network and I go to under network, then I enter backslash the server name, then search it. It's gonna start searching and it's gonna ask for my credentials in order to log in. Since our demonstrator requires and our API in general requires the files that are transferring the files to be on the same network, the person will have to authenticate with that network, which also adds security, a layer of security. I'm just going to enter my UCT credentials. Then I've entered into our database, which is the USB that's connected to the Pi. And now I can see the files that I previously downloaded. As you can see, these are the files I previously downloaded. This includes PowerPoint files and PDF documents. Now I'm going to demonstrate the downloading of a file. I'm going to say D. When I choose a file to download, it's going to ask me if the link, because when we download files, we need the link to the website. It's going to ask me if the link is connected to a website that requires the person to log in, or if that's just a link that's in the web in general. To demonstrate the logging in, I'll just press 1. And it's going to ask me the username of that website. In this case, I'll be using Hula. I'll just enter my credentials, but I will hide them. Then it's going to ask me for my link. For the link, I'm just going to go to I'm just gonna go through. I've already logged in, and I'm just gonna check in a random PDF. Then I'm gonna copy the link. And I'm gonna paste it. Then it's gonna start downloading. It's gonna show me the percentage and the size, and if it's done downloading, this is the name of the file. And I can search for the file. The name is I'm gonna copy this name and I'm gonna paste it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna search this. Sorry, that was wrong. It's called CPU architecture 1.pdf. It tells me that the file does exist. So that's why if the file exists, that's what it sends out. Yes. Then I'm just gonna demonstrate how you can access it from your phone with a screenshot from my phone. And this is a demonstration of the phone network then using the laptop. So first of all, I need to connect to the same network as the Raspberry Pi, which is connected to my laptop at the moment, which is that Wi-Fi address. The next step to connect to the server on the Raspberry Pi, which is the files, and access the database. So I'm just going to enter the IP address that I got from before on the demonstrator. And once I'm done with this, I log in as a guest rather than a registered user because I've already authenticated myself before on the demonstrator. This is going to load. It's going to open the same file structure we saw on the laptop, which is the files in the USB. And in the files, I can see the files I've downloaded today. And this is the file. There are CPU architecture is the file that I downloaded today. That's 1135, same time as the demonstrator, which shows the demonstrator was working. Thank you. Now our conclusion. Now the advantage of our API is it's an affordable way to download files and it can be scalable for larger schools. And now disadvantage is that it's only limited to Wi-Fi capable phones. But we plan on extending it so it can be able to use Bluetooth, USB, and micro SD to send files. And automation of the demonstrator as well. From Ranga and Session Low. Thank you.